Okay, so thank you for being here with me. I didn't realize I was so stressed about this, but my jaw hurts. I'm very nervous about other people seeing what I've been working on. It's hard, but I couldn't have asked for a better crew to launch this with. Um, it is 12 o'clock on the dot. I'm noticing that our page still hasn't switched over from the splash page, but that's okay. I can still show it to you. Before I do, um, a little bit, a little bit of context. So, Barb, actually, you teed me up perfectly for the first thing I wanted to address. Oh, you already have your mug?
Yeah, I just got it. And I
Can
got
I,
my shirt
can I,
too.
s- can I see the other side of it? Oh,
It
yeah.
says if it's not about love, it's not about God.
Cool. So where did
And
you
it's
get
got
those from the
there was a something sent out about the pride,
yeah,
something, I don't know.
okay.
Well, I'll make sure you get that link easily,
Thank you.
Sister Diane.
Thank you.
Um, Okay, so first of all, our web address is not EDGL, it's greatlakesepiscopal.org. And we had reserved a couple of different URLs, or I should say my predecessor, Katie Forsyth, did, in advance of the special convention last year, just in case we approved Juncture so that nobody could swoop URLs out from under us. And one of the ones that we reserved was greatlakesepiscopal.org, and ultimately that's what we went with. It is a mouthful, but it is a mouthful that means something to people who aren't, even to people who are outside of our community. Whereas
Mhm.
EDGL is a great shortcut, but it doesn't really mean anything to anyone outside the community. So we went with the more descriptive version.
Makes sense.
Now, um, as we have been talking about this, and it feels like all I've been doing is talking about it since I joined the staff, um, I I feel very strongly that our public spaces online should be evangelistic in nature. They should be about people who are not already feeling like they're an integral part of our community, um, more than they are about the people who are already integrated into our community, so that we can share who we are and what matters to us. And uh, Sister Diane, we were just talking about this on Wednesday, but we're in a really unique spot, especially when it comes to witnessing to and including and celebrating people in vulnerable and disenfranchised communities. And the more that we can focus on who we are instead of what kind of the insider baseball things like LOA templates and the nitty gritty of what it takes to run a diocese or administer a parish, the more our story is out there, and it's out there invitationally. So you will see today in what I show you a shift to a much flatter website when we talk about web design. If you think about websites as charts, you have your main pages, and then especially diocesan websites, I think, are prone to growing so that there's main pages and then sub pages and then sub pages to sub pages and and it's becomes really hard to navigate, and really, oh, here comes Canon Tracy. So it can become really hard to navigate. It can be hard for the staff to keep it updated, because in order to help with difficult navigation. Sometimes the same information will live in multiple places. Hi, Tracy. And then when we update it in one space and not the other, and that can lead to confusion. And so you'll see that this site is designed to be much more flat in terms of its navigation. Nothing is more than 3 clicks from the homepage. Um, and it's not going to include everything that we have on our legacy diocesan websites. But don't worry, those resources aren't going away. So there's more to show you. So we're going to start by, let me refresh one more time and see if they've switched it over. So our web developer still hasn't switched it over, but I can show you the website in our kind of play space where we've been working on it together. So let me share my screen here. Okay, so this is still very much a work in progress, but and so you're going to see this same picture pretty much everywhere because we're still working on getting everything together. But I talked to the web developer and I really didn't want to make the perfect and the complete the enemy of the progress. And I wanted to just go ahead and get it out there for us. Also, because I really would like this to be an iterative space, our website and Circle, which I'm going to show you here soon, which means it adapts and is flexible based on how we're using it and feedback that you all give me. So communicators, those of you in this room right now, and those of you watching this on a recording, you can be an important part, and I hope you will be an important part of helping to make this better. So very basic. I was very focused on not having anything below the scroll on our homepage and hiding. So if that comes from if you in journalism on a newspaper, right, you want to be above the fold with your big information. In a website, we want to be above the scroll. So we don't want to hide information that people need or links they need below what they see when they log on. And I believe I can show you what this looks like on mobile just by resizing my browser window. Yeah. So, oh, there's a little preview for you. This is what it looks like on mobile. So you still see the menu comes up here, but otherwise we're not hiding any information. All right, so we have three main categories here: who we are, how we serve, and our open community. So I'll start here with our who we are. So as a landing page, for this section, you can see there's just a little bit about us. And these are all the other pages that exist under who we are. Very simple. Our stories is the blog, and so that's something I would like to really expand, and I will be inviting communicators and non-communicators alike to share their own stories. When we talk about evangelism and helping people get to know kind of the ethos of who we are as a diocese, there's really not a better way to do that than through stories. Our bodies are made of stardust and our souls are made of stories. And so I think it's really important that we're highlighting real people's experiences. So I hope that you all will consider writing for the blog. This won't be a place for sermons or anything like that, but really just more about lived experience in the diocese. And I hope that you all will help me to recruit writers as well. So we have an about page, as you would expect, and trying to keep it very, very simple. So what we believe, which is always hard when you're in a creedal and not confessing church, to be like, we believe that you should believe what you believe, and we have room for you, and we have room for disagreement. History, this is a project that I hope to expand on this year, is really writing out our histories more clearly and beyond just a little bit of history that we had on both legacy diocese websites so that we can understand more of where we've come from. Vision and mission process, again, I say it every time I can, but we're really focusing on transparency for accountability and building trust. And so that's a process that is processing. And so we'll keep updates there. Constitution and canons, this is something that I know we need really easy access to. And so you can see, you can download it here, you can read it in the page as well. Convention information will be there. Next convention and past conventions will all be linked. Bishop, right now, kind of getting into why don't we have the bishop. And again, since this is a process that is ongoing, getting us to where we're calling someone, that will all be updated there. Diocesan staff have not built that page yet, but it will be there. And then of course, some transparency around who's on our governing bodies and what they're up to. How we serve, this is where I'm still doing a lot of writing, but I think this is a really important way to set this up, not just who we are, but like what we end up doing because of who we are. And so building beloved community, you'll see has different categories underneath it. Creation care, children, youth, and young adults. Tracy Adult Formation here is where we're going to build out the Academy for Vocational Leadership information, lay leader development. And then parish support is kind of the insider baseball stuff. So we'll get to that in a minute.
Rachel,
Yeah.
one thought, I wanted to say this because otherwise I might forget. The building beloved community as a heading, all of us understand what that is, but our
You're
outsiders
exactly right.
probably
Yeah.
don't. And if we
Yeah,
can make
you're
it
right.
something that's more descriptive, anyway, that's just a thought as I had as I saw
No,
that. I
that's
said,
great. That's great feedback. I try to keep outsider audiences in mind, but yeah, that is definitely a term that we understand and new people wouldn't. So thank you.
Right.
I will work on that. And that, like, please don't ever hesitate. Whether you're anyone on this call with me live or watching it on replay, when you see things like that, let me know right away. Because it's going to take all of us to really get this to where we need it to be. And a website's never done, right? So thank you. So our open community, I don't necessarily love this. I love that our community is open. I don't love the phrase necessarily, but I wanted to communicate. And so this is a place where I'd really love feedback. A lot of times when it's when you use the who we are, how we serve, it automatically sets up this who's in, who's out. Like, here's who we are, and you are over there. And that's really not our ethos at all. And so emphasizing that we are an open community and that there are a lot of differences within us, and there's no like litmus test for whether or not we'll accept you. I'm just not quite sure how to do that best. And so anyone who has any ideas, that would be great. Find a community, find a church, of course, is where we have the fantastic Episcopal asset map embedded. The contact page is up and working. I just contacted myself through this. Let me refresh again and see if they've gotten us live. No, still not yet. Okay. Our web developer is great, and so I'm sure that it'll be live for you outside of this playground where I've been working on it soon. And this is one of the things that's driving me nuts, and they're working on it so that these corners line up.
Oh, can I ask you a question about the contact us page? That's really for a staff question.
Yeah.
If people email me through here, will it go
Uh-huh.
to my inbox or my junk?
I emailed me through here and it went to my inbox.
Okay.
But let me, there you are. Let me just email you right now and see what comes up.
Okay. Because right now there's a glitch in the system. So on the legacy sites. Let me check.
There you go.
Thank you.
So there are a lot of pages like that don't have content on them yet. I am working to get the keys to the backside so I don't have to keep going through the developer to get those. But basically, what all of those will say until they're done being built, which I'm flying through this, it shouldn't be too much longer. We've got the hard work out of the way. Is "Oh, we're still working on this." It'll say "Oh" because I'm the one who writes it. And it's, we're Midwesterners. "Oh, we're still working on this one. If you need anything now, go to our contact page with any suggestions or if you need any immediate help." Um, okay, so that's the website. Very flat. And you might be thinking, where are the resources going? Great question. Glad you asked. This is the part I'm even more excited about, which is our Circle community. So there's a whole page here that kind of talks about what we're doing and why. But I mentioned wanting to have a flatter website as a move towards being more evangelistic in our public online spaces. I also want to move recognizing that traditional social media is still important. That's where a lot of people look for information about churches of any generation. That's where a lot of, especially our older generation, where they hang out online is on Facebook. And so it's important to still have a presence there. But I never want somebody to have to be able to have to go on to a social media site owned by billionaires to get diocesan information or participate in the diocese. We know that traditional social media spaces are toxic, like is study after study. And it's just, I never want somebody to have to scroll through mis and disinformation or contentious social media arguments and
Mhm.
that be part of what's in their soul and in their experience in the moment that they're going to get diocesan content. Also, being on those traditional social media sites means that your data and personal information is being used for profit largely without your consent, or I'm going to go ahead and say understanding if that's what's happening. And that flattening and dehumanization is not something I'm super a fan of. But we still need to be there, right? And so we're going to focus on evangelistic content there. But I still wanted us to have a way that people could connect with each other around the diocese. And I wanted to eliminate having to be a middle person and having the diocese be a middle person for people to connect with and get to know each other, especially as we're trying to get people to know each other across our legacy diocesan lines, right? We want to be able to facilitate connection in a way where relationships can be built and strengthened, where people can learn from each other, get ideas from each other, resources and support from each other. And if that all has to rely on diocesan staff to create the events or spaces for people to do that, then it's just going to inhibit connection. So let me show you what I'm talking about. So this is Circle. Circle is part social media, part learning management software, part event calendar, part website. It's got it all. And the goal behind using Circle is that it would be an online home for connecting to people, parishes and ministries, and resources and support. So I'm showing you what it looks like from a public view. So we're not going to hide, for example, our resources and support in diocesan council or diocesan calendar. We're not going to hide our diocesan council either. That would be rude. But all content that is like resource oriented or public information, you do not have to have Circle membership, which is free, to be able to access. So let me show you I'm going to show you around what it looks like. Anyone in the world could see what I'm about to show you. So this is what will open up anytime somebody comes to our Circle And it's the feed. And it's just like your social media feed. It's just like your Facebook feed. It's showing you here are public posts that are recent, that have happened around Circle, showing you what's new. You can see I've been adding a lot of a lot of resources and things like that, and you can see what's been going on. Start here. This page is when somebody makes a Circle profile. This is the first thing they'll see. It kind of orients them to what's going on. So that's what that is. Say hello is just an introduction space. So you'll notice that I can't, anytime I try and click and interact here, or I can't leave a comment, I can't make a post because I'm not logged in, but I can see what's publicly available. So there's my,
So Rachel,
yeah.
if what you posted is public, if somebody signs up and posts and fills out their profile, does that automatically become public?
You have control over what of your information is public and not. So I'll show you more about that. I'm going to sign up here so you
Okay.
can see what that process is like. Community guidelines are here. This is another, like, really any space I would love feedback, but this is another one where I would really appreciate feedback. I kind of put together some generic ones and did a little bit of customization for us. But basically, it's just reminding people that they're interacting with people and should interact with people like people. Diocesan Hub. So again, this is all public space. So we have an announcements board, the calendar. This is actually the calendar that is embedded on our website. And so this is the one place where all of our diocesan, you can see things that are available there, things that are coming up. You can search by category here. So I've added a category called parish event. So when events come to me, sometimes they're just not really for the whole diocese, but other churches around them might be interested. But, it's like, where do I put it? I can put it right here. And this is great for, this is an on-site event at St. John's in Grand Haven, but and people are welcome to go to it, but there you can also search by online events. So things that are available online, so you can see the lay worship leader training coming up, and that is all there.
Can I ask
The
another
commu-
question?
Yeah, of course, always.
So you said that some people have events at the parish that aren't necessarily meant for everybody in the world, but parishes near people near them, or parishes, if something is on the calendar, that's available to everybody, or you can distinguish between, you want this to only members versus.
Our calendar is public. I am not sure. I'm not sure if I could designate
Okay,
events private or not.
I was just curious. That's all.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah, I can look into that. This is an example of what you would see. Uh, it says members have to be invited to this space. This is actually a space that all members are automatically added to, and you'll see that in a minute. But we'll post standing committee updates, those videos, and diocesan council updates there. Another space for bishop updates. But so that's all there. Here's the part I'm super, super excited about. People can connect you can self-select into spaces. So over here, and I understand it looks really overwhelming now. I'm going to go through and break it up more so it's easier to find. But over here, you can see that we've got a lay-led parish network, parish administrators network, vestry members network, senior warden network, And so these are all spaces where people can connect based on their roles. We have, let's see. Well, I'll have to show you logged in as myself. So here's my this is my administrative view. But you can see that we'll also have clergy spaces that you can't self-select into, but I can add you to. So there is a space that is a lectionary chat, and we're going to invite licensed preachers into that space since they're also working on their sermons. Worship planning chat with licensed lay leaders. There is a space that is just for all clergy, so prayers and community here. Priests, deacons, new clergy, mid-career clergy, retired clergy, different ways that people can connect there. People can connect over shared ministry interests. So again, we have Becoming Beloved Community here, creation care, adult formation, children, youth, and young adults. You can connect with people in networks there, and you don't get notifications about all of the things that are happening, just the things that impact you and that you've chosen to be part of. So you can help, again, anyone who's a member here can help build the community, help us become the diocese and connect with one another. But you can, so that's one type of spaces, is network spaces. Another type of space, and these are publicly viewable, is resource library spaces. So here's one that's built out well, and that's the Migration Ministry Resource Library. So these are resources that we brought together after the call that we had a few weeks ago about caring for immigrants and refugees. So this isn't a space where you as an individual member could post content, but you could send me content to add. So we have rights cards, we have, and you can again sort by categories here. So if you're looking for that printable private space sign that we talked about, you can see there are printable red cards, customizable private space sign, ready to print private space sign. And there it is as a download. So you don't, and so there'll be a parish admin and finance resource library. So you get, all the forms that you need to send to the diocese are all in one spot. And we can update them easily. And if something's out of date, you can literally just put a comment on it and say, hey, this is the 2024 version. Do we have a new one yet? And you can post that comment there just like you would on social media. And I'm going to delete that because that's not actually true. But then we'll be notified of that, and we can be like, oh, yep, and I just have to switch it out there, and that's the only place that I have to change it. So let me show you what it looks like to sign up. So let me show you. So again, this is still public, but the networks are not. You have to be a member of Circle to be in the networks. We don't need just anybody anywhere being able to comment on this. We want to make sure that it is a diocesan space. And so I'm going to join, and it's super simple. I'm going to sign up with an email. Just gonna make this our family account.
So Rachel, to speak to Diane's point about posting something that was for just certain churches, that would be where she could put it. Because you have to
In
be
a
a member to
network?
see those. Yeah.
Yeah, so that would be we could make collaborative networks. So Central Collaborative event or something like that could work. And what's great about this is hang on, I just totally forgot what password I put in there. So let me there. The great thing about this is that it's easy to update and add to and expand as people use it, and easy to make changes. Okay, so I'm gonna go, let me go here, my code. Mhm. So the first thing I can do is do a little bit of customization. I'm just going to grab some things here. You'll see when you're creating your profile, you can tell us a bit about yourself. You can add a photo. And some of these questions here about parish or ministry and which order you are can help me know which spaces to put you in initially, although you can request to join other spaces. So we could say communicator, youth ministry. And here's where you can have, here's an important place where you have some control over your privacy. So even as a member, you can decide whether or not your email is visible to other members, whether people can message you. And I am going to do that because this is kind of just a dummy account, and whether or not you're in the member directory so that people can find you.
Question,
Yeah.
make my email publicly visible versus make my email
Visible.
visible to members.
Let me check on that. I think it's just to members. I believe that
Because the other two
someone
are
who's
clearly
not
members.
logged in, yeah. Well, let me just see. Let me make that publicly visible, and then I'll log out and see if I can even see member direct. I'm not going to do it on this call, but I'm going to check on that
I
today.
got you. Okay. Okay.
Email to members only.
Email address or something.
Yeah.
Because if I were you and I looked at that later, I would think, does that mean they can only email to?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Continue. So a little welcome message, and that's paired with a welcome email that you'll get automatically. So I'll pull that up. You can see. Here's the email I just got. That will automatically go to anyone. So now you can see that I can comment on things, I can like things, and I can see this space that I have to be invited to. I can't add myself there. And so you can opt in, and I'm actually going to change this because right now it opts you into all the resource networks automatically, but those are publicly visible, so you don't need to see the resource libraries. You don't need to be a member of them. The benefit of becoming a member of a space that's publicly available is that if you were like, oh, I need to know when there are new things that happen in this space, when they put up a new lay-led parish resource, I want to get an email about it so I can go check it out. You have to be a member of the space to be able to get that. So it's pretty empty in there right now in terms of content, because while I will continue to add resources, what I'm really hoping for and the really big goal here is that people will connect with each other in this space. And it's going to take time to build it up. And we're playing with some ways to make sure that this is accessible to everyone who has a computer, and to make sure that nothing, like if someone's unable or unwilling to be engaged in this space, that they still won't be left out of anything. So that is the quick and dirty intro to our new website, which still hasn't switched over yet. So I'll talk to our developer
Maybe
when we get
they're
off this
on West
call.
Coast. Maybe they're on West Coast time.
Maybe that would be strange though, since they're a Grand Rapids company. And they're like 4 blocks from the church where our
Yeah.
offices are, I think. Um, but anyways, any questions, any other feedback of things that you're already like, hey, we can do this better.
No, I'm just, it's gonna take some time to explore.
Yep.
I think the opportunity to connect with people in the circle is gonna be a great thing. Getting people to use it is gonna be the task at
Yeah.
hand. Um,
Yeah.
but
So my focus with that over the next few weeks is to get our staff in there and get our staff using it, get communicators in there because you all are pretty savvy, and get communicators using it. And then once we do that, kind of bringing clergy in and saying, hey, here's how this tool could work. Here's how you might want to use it. And then once I feel like we have some critical mass of beta testers, uh, starting to put out educational content about it on social media and through emails about here's what it is, here's what we could do, here's how you could be involved.
Mhm. Yeah, because
Yeah,
I've got folks that don't or will not use Facebook
right.
and um
Right.
and would be willing, I think, to engage with this. I'm hoping.
Rachel,
Yeah,
if
yeah.
you, if there's new content in a space that you are a member of, how do you get notified?
Great question. So let me
I mean, you get an email, do
go.
you get some kind of, like an,
You get to choose that. So
okay,
I am, let me share this again. So I'm trying to standardize a little bit so that so I'm going to join this space with the new account I just created. Um, so I am now a member of the Migration Ministry Resource Library space.
okay.
And I can click here on space settings and I can choose my post notifications. So I'm trying to be careful about setting it up so that it's just in-app notifications because I don't want people to get spammed with emails. But if that's where you get your information, like if you have your email inbox open all day and you want to know, hey, when is that recording going to be posted? You have some control over that. So you can say, you know what, I'll just check it out when I'm there. I don't ever want notifications about that. The other thing that I haven't mentioned yet is that Circle has an app and it's very intuitive to use on your phone. And so that's what in-app notifications can mean here in the browser. It can also mean in the app on the mobile phone. Mobile notifications would be if you have the app installed, it's a push notification, like just like you get for when somebody sends you an email if you have those on.
Yeah,
Um,
okay.
the only push notifications I have on are texts from my family. So I hate push notifications, so you're never going to see me choosing that. But if that's how it all depends on what you want to do. So there's a good
Okay.
amount of customizability. You have control over the information that you're getting.
Okay.
This looks
Other
really slick. I'm really happy to see this.
and Tracy, you will be really excited, I think, by some of the course options. So I haven't set up any courses in here yet. But let me show you what one could look like. This is, I'm a member of Circle Academy too, if I can get that. So you can see, here's a course that I can navigate through here. You can embed
Can you share your
videos.
screen?
Oh,
I cannot see what you are doing.
I forgot that I wasn't.
Oh, okay. Welcome to the course. All right. Yes. All right.
Yeah. So you break it out into lessons. You can have quizzes. You can have we can host events in Circle. so that you don't have to worry about getting the recording out. It's still going to live where you had it, and people can comment on events or like on this lesson. Like I could go in and say, like, so grateful for this content.
Right, yeah.
And I guess the entire circle community can see that now. But maybe that'll make some course developers day to be like, oh, yay. But you know, students are you know, you can think about this with dismantling racism. You could do a dismantling racism training in here, and then people can connect in the comments, and those comments don't go away. And you can say, okay, that's a cohort that's doing that together, and they get access to this. The next cohort has their own course in here so that you can help to continue to build on those communities of people who have learned together. Um, so there are a lot of things we can do with this.
That
And
sounds exciting. Yeah.
yeah,
And a good
it's
learning
really
curve.
exciting. Yeah.
A little bit of a learning
So
curve.
yeah, a little bit, but
It looks pretty intuitive, though.
it's very, very intuitive.
That's
My
good.
one
Thank you.
complaint, and let me show you what this looks like on our website, because we can embed it on the website. There. So you can see we can make it look seamless within our website. So this you can see is like a circle window within this website page. But the calendar is there. The one drawback that I'm begging them to change is that if you were not, well, now it's showing the correct time zone. Huh. Maybe they updated it. Maybe my begging has worked. It was showing the time zone as UTC if you're not logged in, which is universal, like it's the dateline. And so that's confusing. And I was like, hey, we're a geographically bound community. I really
Mhm.
want everybody to see, but it looks like maybe they've already changed that. Very responsive support from Circle. And we have a level of membership with them where we get concierge support for the first year. So yeah, send me all of your questions and all of the hiccups, and let's get some concierge service. So I'm really excited about this. I'm excited about the possibilities, and I can't say enough how open I am to feedback and building and becoming in these spaces together. And I value everyone's feedback, but especially communicators. You all get it on a different level because you know the frustration of communicating something in a million places and then somebody coming up to you and being like, I didn't know this was happening. My go-to is always, shoot, forgot to hire the skywriter. Like,
I'm gonna have to remember that one.
so, but you all get that frustration, and I get, you know, listen, we've got messages coming at us from everywhere. We're not built to process all this information, and so anything that you can help, any suggestions you have that can help people engage with it something more naturally and more intuitively, please, please, please. Oh, and little fireworks there, I guess. Double thumbs up equals fireworks.
I love it. Rachel, to me, the website looks very clean. It feels warm and inviting. And it's a balance, right? To have a website that looks clean but not sterile, right? And
Yeah.
yeah, so
Thanks. That's another place. I mentioned the blog is a place where we want anybody and everybody to submit content. Photos is another place because I did, as they were building out this wireframe for me, I was like, it's really important to me that I can easily change photos up frequently so that it's real people doing real things in our diocese. It's seasonally appropriate for the church season. You know, it's not Anna Skidmore as an 8-year-old on the homepage, but Anna Skidmore as a college student.
Who
And the
was
way
at St.
she
John's on
served.
Sunday? I'm sorry.
Oh,
Or Ash Wednesday, yeah.
great human.
Yes.
But so it's a reflection of who we are now. So yeah, any photos, anything I can use, happy to do that.
Great.
All right. Well, thanks for hanging out with me over lunchtime. And you know how to find me if you have any questions. But I'll stop the recording now and